Hello, my bitches, my girls. Sorry. Hello, my bitches, my girls, my non-binary hoes, my sims, my losers, my freaks, my weirdos, and all of my lovely, wonderful people. It is Storm back here again to feed your delusions with another audio. Sorry, I'm like grinning and I don't know why. This audio is hopefully gonna be better and actually a lot more energetic than my audios normally are because of the fact that I'm not recording this at 1 a.m. I'm recording this one. Currently it is 3 p.m. So yeah, yay. This is going to be part 3 to my Benny Rodriguez ex-listener. Sorry, let me just turn on my music real quick. I'm listening to Motley Crue, by the way. I'm trying to listen to all their songs, so yeah. I love Motley Crue. By the way, I know that this one's a newer song, but Saints of Los Angeles is probably one of the best, if not the best, Motley Crue song. Argue at the Wall. Sorry, I have like a thing on my arm and I'm flinging it around. Oh shit. Anyways, how was your guys' holidays? Mine was really good. I had a lot of fun. I saw a lot of family. Oh, and I forgot to mention, first audio of 2025. It doesn't even feel like 2025 actually. I'm gonna explode. So I should probably stop yapping and get into the video. This one might be a little bit shorter than normal, but I'm gonna try and make it 20 minutes. But yeah, okay. Let's get into the audio. Okay, so you and Benny are like, it's the next day after that very quote unquote deep conversation in the on the roof, on the roof outside your window. So it's the next day, and you bring the project into school, and basically your teacher gave you time to work on it in class as well, but you guys are already done because you finished it. So you're basically sitting there and just talking to Benny again. And today he's looking at you slightly different. Not like different in a bad way, but like different in like a kind of, he's looking at you for longer. He has that kind of, the Arctic Monkeys song, Number One Party Anthem, that's kind of trending on TikTok. At least it was like a week ago. The Look of Love, whatever, that's basically what he's doing. Except not super, like, blatant, not very obvious, because, he's nonchalant. He's a nonchalant redhead. he's nonchalant. But yeah, he seems incredibly interested in everything you have to say. And by the way, just for some context, not even context, just to let you guys know, this is going to be an actual, like, sweet kind of love, not like he wants to not like he wants to do the deed. Like, he's actually, like, it's gonna be an actual teenage romance because he's 13. He's 13. So it's gonna be a teenage romance, and it's just gonna be really cute. Yeah. Anyways, back to the audio. I'm so sorry, I yap so much. Sorry, I just yawned. Anyways, if you heard that crack. Okay, that pop. This is an editor's note, by the way. That pop, that was my jaw. The little. Yeah. And that was my jaw. Okay, back to the audio. So, yeah. He's, like, looking at you, and he's, like, completely mesmerized by you. Oh god, I'm gonna have to yap again. Okay, I'm so sorry. But in Percy Jackson in the third book, I'm currently reading the third book, where Percy, like, is enchanted by Artemis, or Artemis, however the hell you want to say it. Where's my book? Anyways, that's, like, how he's looking at you. He's looking at you like you're the prettiest, most handsome, like, person on the planet. Sorry, and he's like, but you're just talking about whatever. You guys are laughing about how he showed up to your house in the middle of the night, and you guys are just like, since you're done, you've already handed it in to the teacher, so they said, yeah, just like do whatever, just don't, like do something stupid. So you guys just sit and talk, like whatever. And then you arrange for him to come over at 1 a.m. that night, and you guys are gonna have another, like, talk. So, yeah, like, Benny's, hey, would it be cool if would it be okay if I came over to your house again tonight? And you're like, when? Like, 1 a.m.-ish? If you don't want to, that's totally cool, but, it was kind of nice talking to you last night. I liked it. So you're like, okay, you know what? Fine, sure, whatever, you can, if you want, go ahead, you can. She's like, perfect, thank you. I'll be there at 1 a.m. And then basically the class ends, and you and Benny only have that one class together, sadly. So then at lunch, instead of going and hanging out with the Sandlot boys like he normally does, he goes over and he talks to you. And you see, like, all the other girls absolutely, side-eyeing you. Like, side-eye, intense stare, kind of, like, they want to murder you in your sleep kind of look. And you, like, and Benny notices this, and he's like, well, it looks like somebody's jealous. You know, like, well, it looks like someone's jealous, huh? Don't mind them. And then you guys are just like chilling out, whatever, talking, and then the bell rings, and then you have to go back to class. So you go to your classes, whatever, and then you have 2 more classes after lunch, so it's like, there's a passing period, right? And you have to pass Benny's locker to get to your locker from the classroom that you're in. Like, pretend your second last class is math. And then for math, like, that classroom is right outside Benny's locker, but your classroom is closer to the science locker. Your locker is closer to the science classroom. So you have to pass Benny's locker to get to your classroom. So as you pass, Benny looks at you and smiles, and then he, like, immediately looks away, and, like, you see his face, like, heat the fuck up. But you just kind of, you can't deny that you also got a little flustered, but, like, you just keep walking, like, pretending that you didn't just, lock eyes with him, whatever. And then, at the end of the day, you go pick up Smalls from his classroom, but he's like, actually, listener, why the fuck did I just do an actually voice for Scotty? You know what? We're sticking with it. Listener, I'm actually gonna go with, Benny down to the Sandlot with the other boys. Is that cool? Yeah, sure. And you're like, yeah, I'll just tell Mom, whatever. Cool, you're the best. Bye, see ya. Today, he's actually being nicer to you than normal, which is odd, but yeah, whatever. So, Benny comes by just as you're talking to him to say, like, hey, Smalls, you ready to go? Hey, listener. And you're like, hi, Benny. See you later. Like, see you later. Benny, what was that about? What do you mean, see you later? It's like, and Benny's like, oh, she means see you tomorrow. That's cool. And Scotty's like, tomorrow is Saturday, you idiot. Well, maybe she's gonna come by the Sandlot, whatever. Just don't worry about it. And Scotty's like, okay, whatever, fine. By the way, I'm sorry, I'm playing with this little crocheted squid. He's adorable. So, say hi to Mr. Squid. I love you, Mr. Beast. Say hi to Mr. Squid. He's our channel mascot now. Anyways. But yeah, so basically Benny's like, whatever. Then they go down to the sandlot and you're at home and you're just basically waiting in your room, doing whatever you like to do. And then you go eat, and then Scotty comes home. And since Scotty, I think Scotty is the youngest member on the team. So Scotty comes home and you're at your window, and then when the door, and like your window is at the front of the house, kind of the side window that you have that's facing, that your desk is like to the right of your desk, right? That window that I was talking about last time, where you and Benny kind of got out into the window. Yeah, that one. So basically, like, you can see that's facing the front of the house. So you see Benny like drop off Scotty, and before he walked away, he looked into your window. You're not even looking at him. He looks into your window, and then before he leaves, he grabs like a pebble off the road and chucks it at your window, like full speed. So you look at him, but he didn't realize that your window was open. Your window was open, by the way. So it hits you in the side of the face, and you whip your head around, and you're like, oh my god, Ben. And you look at him like, really? And you just hear, sorry. Wait, you just hear, sorry, listener. It's like, oh my god, Benny. And then he gives you a sheepish smile before turning around and running home. So then, you're just kind of stuck sitting in your room. Maybe this audio isn't going to be as short as I thought. I think it's probably actually going to be about 20 to 25 minutes. So yeah, basically he goes home, and then you're just sitting in your room doing whatever. You guys have dinner, and then at 1 a.m. So basically your parents go to bed around like 12:30ish, and your parents are really heavy. Well, okay, so your mom goes to bed around like 10, and your dad goes to bed your stepdad goes to bed around like 12:30ish. So he's like clonked out by the time Benny gets there. So you open up your window. You leave your window open so he can sneak in without having to knock on the window. And he's like, you really shouldn't leave your window open. Somebody could sneak in. Because he actually surprised you. Because you had your headphones in and you were listening to music. And, like, he fell almost. Like, he almost fell face first. But he caught himself and he's like, and you didn't even realize that he'd almost fallen. So he stood up, dusted himself off. When he realized that you hadn't seen him, he went, you really shouldn't leave your window open. Somebody could sneak in. And you, like, jolt. And you grab a stuffed animal and you whip it at him. He's like, ow, fuck, that hurt. And you're like, well, that's what you get. You're like, that's what you get, man. It's like, and he's sorry about the rock incident. I didn't realize your window was open. Sorry. It's okay, Benny, don't worry. You're like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. And then he's like, so, let's get on the roof. Like, it. So you guys hop out onto the roof, and you sit there, and you just kind of talk. And then you ask Benny, oops, sorry, I just sent the thing flying. You're like, Benny, how do you get out of your house without your mom noticing? It's like, I just sneak out the window, I just basically sneak out the window. Oh, okay. And then, basically, he tells you what happened at the sandlot that day, and he tells you how he got to, I know that this isn't the right, day, whatever, but I just want to say it, because it's funny. What are you laughing at, yeah? You run like a duck. So basically, he said that to him today. Okay, I'm gonna try to actually sound a little bit more like Benny. He's like, yeah, I told you, yeah, he ran like a duck. You're like, why? Because he was being mean to Scotty. Because he was being mean to Smalls. Oh, so you're standing up for my brother, were you? Yeah. Like, oh, you're standing up for my brother? It's like, yeah. Smalls is a good kid. Little nerdy, but a good kid. So, like, when Yaya was, bashing him, and whatever, even though Smalls has improved a lot, by the way, since he first started. So, obviously, I had to do something about it. I couldn't just let him bash on him like that. So I said, what are you laughing at, Yaya? You run like a duck. And you start, like, bursting out laughing. But you almost fall off the roof. Like, literally, you'll start slipping and you almost fall. But Benny grabs onto your windowsill with one hand and you with the other. Because Benny is, strong. So, like, he grabs your arm and he pulls you back up. And, like, he wraps his arm around, like, the outside of your body, like, around your arms, like, around your, because your arm is stuck to your waist. It's against your waist. So he, like, wraps his arm around you and pulls you up to him. And he's like, Jesus. Like, oh, shit, listener, you gotta be more careful. You just could have gotten yourself killed. Right, and you're like, yeah, no shit, thanks. Like, no shit. And then, of course, you have to, like, thanks for saving me, whatever, right? You're welcome. Of course I wouldn't let you fall. And you're like, you better not have. And he hits you ever so gently across the head, just, like, very lightly on the back of the head, just, like, bunk. Shut up, you dork. And then he says, so, what else do you want to talk about? And you are basically just kind of sitting there, just, like, literally doing nothing except, yapping about everything. Helter Skelter. Sorry. That's the Motley Crue song was playing. I'm so sorry. But anyways, yeah, you guys are just vibing, just chilling. This sweater's good. And then, you're like, it's kind of cold. I'm gonna go grab a sweater. I'll be right back. So, you go grab your sweater and you come back out and just sit up next to Benny again. And this time, he asked you if you're still cold, and you're like, not really, but like a little bit. So he wraps his arm back around you and like pulls you into him. And then you guys kind of swap life stories. You kind of like tell each other about yourselves. Like Benny's like, yeah, I haven't really, he's like, so, yeah, I was actually born in Cuba. He's like, I was born in Cuba. You're like, what? Yeah, but then after my dad died, my mom moved us here. So, yeah. It's nice here, though. I'm not complaining. And then you're like, oh, yeah, well, so just say wherever you were born, and then tell them that you moved there with your family, after your mom and your dad got a divorce because your stepdad was getting a job, over here. So you moved here, and that's basically how you ended up in this place. And he's like, your dad couldn't have gotten a job anywhere better than this hellhole? You're like, it's not that bad. And he's like, you seriously think that? You clearly haven't seen enough. Like, what do you mean, bro? Like, well, for starters, there's, like, nothing fun except for the pool, which I'm sure your brother's told you that we've already gotten banned from last summer. And he's like, yeah. And you're like, uh-huh. And Benny's like, yeah, 'cause Squints, kissed that lifeguard. Kiss Wendy Peppercorn. He's like, I don't know what he sees in her. Like, yeah, sure, she's pretty, but she's not even close to the prettiest girl in this town. And you're like, oh, who's the prettiest girl in this town? And he's like, I'm not telling you. He's like, I ain't telling. You're like, come on. You're trying to, convince him. He's like, no, listener, I'm not gonna tell you. Are you just gonna keep pushing? I'm not telling. So you're never gonna know. You're like, I hate you. And you're like, I hate you. And you full name him. But like, does Bunny have a middle name? I don't think so. But like, anyway, you like, sorry, I thought my dad came home. But yeah, like you full name him, and he's like, how the hell did you find out my last? He's like, how did you find out my last name? And you're like, you're like, teacher said it during roll call on the first day of school, and you're like, oh yeah, during attendance on the first day of school, and you're like, oh yeah, and he's like, oh yeah, I forgot. And then he's like, what's your last name? And you're like, why do you want to know? And then, he's like, just because you know mine, shouldn't I be able to know yours? So you tell him your last name as well. What? Headphone beeping, blinking again? I think it is. It's whatever. But yeah, like, he's like, just tell me. So you tell him whatever your last name is, and he repeats it, and he was like, oh, that's a nice name. And he's like, hey, listener. He's like, yeah? So, what do you like anybody in our school? And you're like, well, yeah. He's like, who? Like, immediately, he's like, who do you like? And you're like, I'm not telling you. Like, I'm not telling you. You didn't tell me yours. It's like, come on. I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours first. And you're like, no, you're not gonna tell me yours. I will, I promise. Just, who's your crush? Who do you like? And you're like, And he's like, fuck you, man. Fuck you, man. And you're like, fuck you too. And then by now, you guys have been out there for like 3 freaking hours. And he's like, well, I should probably get going, seeing as it is, I should probably get going, since it's, 4 a.m. You're like, oh, it's just starting to get fun, and he's like, I'll come back tonight, yeah? I'll come back tomorrow night, or technically tonight. He's like, I'll come back tonight. Same time? And you're like, yeah, same time. See you, Benny. It's like, see ya. And he's like, see ya, listener. And then he disappears down. He kind of, before he gets down on the roof, he like squeezes you a little bit, kind of like a side hug-ish. And your head has been on his shoulder. Kind of idly, but you did. And then he got down and he went, and right before he, disappeared, he's like, try not to, he said, try not to fall off the roof this time, yeah? He's like, you're like, yeah. Like, yeah, just go. See ya. And now, like, no Spanish at all. So he's like, bye, hermosa. And you have no idea what the fuck he just said, but you know he said something. It's like, bye. And then, yeah, he disappears and he runs home. Yeah. So that's it for today's audio. I really liked it. Drop your suggestions, drop your reviews in the comments. If my comments get turned off under that community post that I posted, that said, I hate YouTube, it keeps turning off my comments, whatever, yeah. Hope you guys have a great day. Um, I need a community name, even though like there's only four of you guys. That's including my friend. I would. I need a community name. Like, I'm. I'm planning. So yeah. Goodbye, my lovelies. See you. I hope you have a great day, night, whatever. Whenever you're listening to this, and um. I hope to see you again soon in my next audio. Bye!